My oldest daughter gave me this $5 pickleball paddle she got as a church prize, so I wanted to compete it against a $50 paddle and a $300 paddle. Is the $300 paddle better than the $50 and the $5 paddle? We're gonna cover all that and more. I just won one game with these paddles when I competed them all against each other, and the answer may surprise you which game I won, so let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Be Pickleball YouTube channel. You may say I have a bit of a problem because I have around 60 to 70 pickleball paddles in my collection, but one of my favorite things to do is to pit pickleball paddles against each other to see which win in competition. Today, I'm putting the Joola Perseus 4 up against two pickleball paddles at very different price points. A $50 Dr. Pickleball surgical control paddle and an even lower $5 paddle from Five Below. A question I get is a $300 paddle really that much better than a $50 one or even a $5 cheap one? Well, my oldest daughter recently won a prize at church and picked out this Five Below $5 paddle. And as soon as I saw, I knew I had to test it. So I took all three paddles to the court and played games against my arch opponent. I'll share my first impressions of each paddle and then break down how each performed in real games. Stick around because the game results honestly surprised me and I'll reveal which paddle I think is the best at the end. Let's start with the bottom, literally, with this $5 disappointment paddle. This thing completely fell flat. It looks like it has a fiberglass finish, but the grip, easily is the worst part. It weighed 9.4 ounces and the weight was just not distributed correctly. Honestly, it felt like whoever made this pickleball paddle has actually never played pickleball. Now, a quick side note, if you enjoy funny pickleball content and paddle reviews, make sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel and keeps me motivated to make more content like this. Next up, the $50 paddle, the Dr. Pickleball Surgical Control T700 carbon fiber control paddle. I actually love this one for what it is. It's inexpensive. It has 20 millimeters of thickness for control and an elongated handle, which I personally prefer. Plus, it's made of carbon fiber, which is my favorite paddle material. My Dr. Pickleball paddle weighed in at 8.2 ounces, which is much lighter than the $5 brick we just talked about. And then there's the big one, the Joola Pro 4 Perseus. This paddle makes a statement right out of the box. It even comes with grip tape. Now for $300, I think Joola should probably include a paddle cover similar to my new Selkirk broomstick, which I'll review soon, but everything else about this paddle feels premium. Great grit, sleek design, and let's be honest, who doesn't want Ben John's name on their paddle? Mine weighed in at 8.3 ounces. All right, let's now talk about the most fun thing, which is how these paddles actually played. Because first impressions are nice, but performance is what actually matters the most. So let's start with the $5 paddle, which I named the Green Dragon. But incidentally, and let's be honest, this is probably the weakest dragon I've ever used. Right away, I felt like I was losing grip and I don't even have that sweaty of hands. The paddle just doesn't feel secure. It had the worst combination, weak control and weak power. A normal and basic return at the net would send the ball flying high and out. But when I tried to hit a strong forehand, I had to swing hard just to get a normal shot. Serves were okay, but definitely weaker and normal. And forget about spin. Spin does not exist here. If I had to use this paddle long term, I'd probably end up with pickleball elbow and not playing pickleball. What's the final score of the game though? I managed to score one amazing point and that's it. I lost miserably. Now, when I switched over to the $50 Dr. Pickleball Surgical Control paddle, it took me a minute to shake off that Green Dragon drama. But once I found my groove, it was night and day difference. I had so much more control on my backhand. I could target my opponent's backhand accurately. At the net, I could control the placement. My serves felt stronger again and my drops were solid. And let's talk about the game result. I was losing early on, but I actually fought back and won the second game of the match. That generally surprised me. Finally, the $300 Joola Perseus Pro paddle. 6 months ago, I would have said that this was the best paddle you could buy hands down. But the J2NF and J2FC Plus surprised me so much that I created a recent video that I'll include at the end that I would call that the best paddle on the market today. Now, the Joola Perseus has incredible in power and spin. When I started, I felt confident. I was playing singles and my opponent kept hitting to my backhand, but I was able to respond with controlled cross-court shots. My dinks and drops were feeling really good, but there were moments when I just couldn't control the power. At one point, I was right at the kitchen line and I hit what felt like a normal return, but my hands weren't soft enough and boom, it sailed out of bounds. My serve accuracy dropped, I would estimate from around 95% to maybe 75%, which really threw me off. I believe I had chances to close out the game, but I actually ended up losing the third match. I won the second match with the $50 paddle, but I lost both other matches. So which paddle would I choose? Now, honestly, I'd say the Joola, the $300 Joola Pursuas Pro is still the best of the three, but the Dr. Pickleball Surgical Control paddle is an incredible value at $50, especially at a $250 discount to the Joola Pro 4. I felt like I had a lot of control and it really allowed me to play the court and not make as many mistakes as I did with the Joola Pro 4. Now, the Joola Pro 4 is obviously elite. It's used by Ben Johns and fed Stackstrud, but I'm not at their level and I couldn't just tame the wild stallion power and spin like they can. Now, the Dr. Pickleball paddle, on the other hand, gave me much better control even though it lacked some of that explosive power and spin. And the $5 paddle, yeah, that's one's a total fail. I wouldn't wish this paddle for anyone. Now, if you like this kind of paddle comparison or just want honest pickleball paddle reviews, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I'm always trying to produce more content and it's always encouraging to me. I've got plenty more paddles to test. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you on the next one.